So how do you know all this?
Yeah, good question. So my main ability to access information is through remote viewing. So for people who don't know what remote viewing is, it's essentially being able to get out of your body and be in your astral body in a very conscious way, which means that you're very aware of where you're at in your astral body. And then in this astral body, by way of remote viewing, you can essentially go anywhere you want on planet Earth and anywhere you want in the universe. And so that's essentially what I do. So a series of kind of remote viewing is going to where I want, and then through telepathy is, communicating with these different beings. And so initially I started remote viewing um, and helping people with their past lifetimes, putting people into trance-like states so that they could remote view and experience different timelines. And then I started to put myself into a deep meditative trance-like state to once again go into Akashic records, different timelines, hidden human history things, and remote view, what was going on back in, 1300 AD or something like that.
Mm.
And then I got really curious of what's happening in the present moment, and what's going on in Antarctica, and what's happening in these underground military bases. And I started to remote view stuff in the present day that I was curious about, and I got myself into a couple of really sticky situations when remote viewing, and learned a hell of a lot through that process. And then when I was abducted in a very conscious way at the age of 18, that's when my mind started to open about, oh my goodness, not only are interdimensionals real, but they're here, they're interacting with us. So who are they? What are they doing here? And what is the significance of humanity, planet Earth, and humans in general? Like, why are they so curious about us? And that's when I started to remote view off planet and realize that there's a giant Galactic Federation mothership hanging out in our solar system. So what's that about? And who are they? And what are they doing? And that's when I started to really communicate and connect with them. And I'm 29 now, so it's been a good 10 years of that. But it wasn't until 2016 where the GFL finally told me, it's time to put yourself out there. At that point in time, I wasn't on any social media at all.
Mm.
And they said, get all the social media. But they said, YouTube is going to be your connector to the world. And you need to let them know about what we've been talking about for the past however many years.
Wow, that seems if that happened to me, I would feel like, oh, this is so easy. You're just telling me what to do and I just have to do it. What did it feel like when you first put yourself out there?
Well, I wasn't very happy about it because, my dad, especially when I told him at 18, I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting out of my body and I can go check out the neighbor if I wanted to. My dad told me, and he's pretty with it and pretty spiritual and on top of things. And he's like, the government, if the government knew what you could do, they look for people like you and they could take you or recruit you or whatever. And I'm like, oh, damn. So I really wanted to keep things under wraps because he kind of instilled some fear in me, which honestly was warranted at the time. I mean, it took me 6 years from that point to put myself out there. And I learned a lot in that 6 years. So yeah, so it was really scary. And at first, I mean, from 2016 to 2020, really, it was just people were trickling in, it was like, all right, GFL, we're giving these, we're giving humanity some mind-blowing quantum physics, Mandela effect shit. And no one's 50 views. You know what I mean? I'm like, what's the deal? I thought you said this is going to be the connector, right? So I was and not only that, but of the 50 views, there was a lot of trolls, a lot of haters, a lot of, I'm a devil worshiper and I'm channeling demons because that's what aliens are. There's a lot of, I'm like, what am I doing this for? What am I wasting my time every week putting out this content for no real kickback, right? And
Oh, wow.
they just said, be patient. And then 2020 hit. And everyone had a whole lot of free time to start questioning their reality, and they ended up finding my channel. So when I talk to my community now, it's like, oh, when did you end up discovering my content? It's always 2020, so it's really cool how you and your wife found me long before that. And I always really feel like, those people are the wayshowers or the thought leaders. Like, the people who found me before 2020 were kind of getting updated on everything that's going on so that they could help everyone else when 2020 happened. Like, because that was my main intention for the channel. Is like, I don't just want random people, in the world. I want to update people so that they can be the leaders and the way showers and and the directors of when shit goes down. They can help everyone else out. So I really feel like, and here you are, you know what I mean? Here we are.
Yeah. And it's actually kind of fun to when people start, because I've been getting pulled aside for private conversations a bunch in the last couple of years. Like, hey, can we talk about UFOs? Or hey, can we talk about some weird shit that's happening to me? And yeah, I feel like having that marker established before 2020 as a little bit of a weirdo is a great permission. Right? Because then people are like, okay, I can be normal around you. I don't have to like pretend that everything is just the same as it ever was.
Exactly. They know who to go to. That's what I'm finding. Either I don't have the friends that I had before, or my friends started to wake up and now they're like, oh my God, okay, cool. So like, I think I'm getting abducted. I'm like, great, let's talk about it. Even though years before you told me that, like I was crazy for thinking that, we're just going to like scoot over that and be updated to the current predicaments.
Yeah. Well, I just want to acknowledge you for, yeah, your patience. And, for any creator out there who's put something out and had it get just a small handful of views, it can lead one to question like, why am I doing this? So thank you for keeping on.
Totally. Yeah. That perseverance is really important. And I always encourage new creators. Like, they're like, oh, but there's so many psychics in the world, or there's so many life coaches, or there's so many. And I'm like, you only think that because you just stepped into the industry and all you're seeing is life coaches and psychics. Kind of like buying a new car. You're like, oh my God, there's like Toyotas, whatever, everywhere. But I always say that, like, we need as many of these leaders and way showers and we need people to carve a path, because there's 8 billion people in the world and majority of them haven't woken up yet. So we need as many of these leaders as possible, and there's never going to be enough of those people who can really step into their own power and show the way for others who are a little bit, they're floundering right now. And I get that. And I totally empathize with that, because I was there too. And one of the best compliments that I can ever receive is someone discovering my channel or my content for the first time and saying, you just said everything that I've been thinking for a number of years, but you said it out loud. And for me, that's everything, because when I first started to awaken, I felt like I had no one to go to. Like, I felt like I had no one who was there with me, So if I can be there with people on their journey of self-discovery and awakening and stepping into the scientific realms or the extraterrestrial realms, then, I've done my job. I always go back to helping myself at that younger age. And what did I need at that time? And really all we need is the validation that you're not dying, you're not crazy, you're just waking up, and you're also not alone.
Title of your book right there. Good.
Yeah.
You're not dying, you're just waking up. That came out in 2020, is that right?
2021. Yeah.
Okay, last year, 2021. Hey friend, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this particular clip, then I have something else I want to tell you about, which is the League of Superconductors. It's a business mastermind that I run to elevate the greatest change makers of our time. That is people that I like to call quantum entrepreneurs, metaphysical, spiritual teachers, healers, coaches, light workers of different types. And this is a year-long business mastermind starting in May of 2022. So if that's the type of thing that you're looking for, if you're looking to better fuel your mission by having a business that brings in all the abundance you're looking for, that both operates at the 3D level, serving the people of Earth, and at a multi-dimensional level, bringing in all of the higher wisdom and experience that you have access to. That's what we're doing. So if that sounds like something for you, then you can check out the link below, read a little bit more about the program, what we do each month, and I also invite you to apply for a call with me, a strategy session. We can get to know each other. I'll coach you a little bit, and you can decide if that might be the exact thing that you've been looking for. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.